you are a community club. DCFC is a community-built club. And it will always
team
be.
is pitching a plan to revitalize a historic gem in our community, and it's a project that's driven by their passion for their sport.
State of disrepair right now. Concrete sort of crumbling a little bit. The bleachers.
Football club. We're at Keyword Stadium. This stadium was built in 1936.
Indeed, it's amazing to see just how far they have come. Years ago, they were playing over at Gas Tech, and now so many people.
To really settle in. The post and Stephon St. Louis is there to clear it.
Yeah, in the background, you know, they give us the 12th man. You know, it's awesome.
Fans to watch. We're happy to put on a show for all these guys that came out to see us play.
When we moved, they moved, and just communication's the biggest part.
Great. I think we could have earned a shutout earlier against Sparta in the year.
Awesome. You know, the atmosphere is amazing.
Monday with the right foot. It's in the back of the net.
People know us now. People know what to expect. Now we gotta take it to another level.
Look, city till I die. Say hi to the bad fella. Hella smooth with the flow, so grab your umbrella. Yeah, we make it rain, bring the pain. Things are changing. Power rankings take a spanking, got them rearranging. They said Denise are all stars till we deboed all y'all. Ball of fist and brawl y'all. Yeah, we pissed off all y'all, and we thin but still winning. Grinning at the top, got a pundit head spinning, make that chin pop. Blue collar clocking in. They been mocking us for days till they step into the key, and they been leaving with a fade. Doubting us, but then they swayed. Say we pout, they throwing shade. You will never have what we have, time to get the blade. Cause we'll be cutting them up, yeah, we're shutting them up. We ain't bluffing, tell you something, better knuckle up. Y'all ain't nothing but chumps, we put in overtime. We'll be putting in work until it's closing time. City till I die, talking blood, sweat, and tears. City till I die, we've been building this for years. City till I die, this don't happen in a moment. City till I die.
Oh shit, really meaty in progress.
What up?
We are back. I'm trying to think when the last time it was you and I that opened up, because it's usually Alan's the first one in the waiting room.
Usually Alan's here chilling and we're kind of sneaking in.
Yeah, and then wait, there's somebody that's connecting. Oh, speak of it right now. It's
speak
like,
of the devil.
Well, yeah, I mean, depends on the devil. I mean, because technically the devil is the other Manchester club that he follows in there. So, hey, I was just saying before you got on, Alan, normally you're the first one in this waiting room. So, the fact that I came in and standby and Jaime was already here, I was like, what is this?
I've been sitting in my chair for 20 minutes. I just haven't logged in.
It's a good thing that I was on first, though, because I forgot to set it to automatic entry.
Well, yeah. There you go.
So I was actually admitting each one of you in, so it's a good thing I wasn't late.
So yeah, man.
Things just work out in the end, I guess.
I think meant to be, and things that have a way of working out, I think is a really good tagline for this episode. Because it's been 3 weeks since we've gathered. Dennis might be joining us. I know he said today was a good day on that. Oh, we got Adam. Adam's out. I don't know how. I asked Rod. I was like, "Oh, I can't recognize this." Called Rod a stranger one way or another, and he was like, "What do you mean?"
What do you mean? You know exactly what we mean, Rod.
With on there. So, but yeah. So the last time we gathered was at the beginning of October. It was I think it was the beginning of October, and just before Detroit City was traveling to South Carolina to take on Charleston Battery. And since then, there has been also 2 other matches in addition to that match that's taken place. So the game against Battery started off with basically a tale of 2 halves, and sometimes 2 halves split in the same half. So Stephen Carroll gets rewarded with a fresh contract a couple days after our last recording, which kind of threw some people off because some people went thinking that was going to be a new signing. But we caught some. It was
Mackie teased it like it was a new signing. With the little emojis, but
you never know.
I'm just glad to be seeing that shit again. You know, that type of like regular content. It pains to a year.
Yeah.
And then he gets rewarded. He rewards everybody with that by getting the first goal in that game, near post header. City's rolling, and then a lunge too far, starring Connor Rutz. Straight red card. Battery take over for a little bit, except they leave Laurent Koscielny to try a shot from outside of the box against the run and play in stoppage time for City to take a point. Charleston Battery's first drop points at home since June 8th.
Suck it, Caesar.
Yeah, and then they lost to Pittsburgh the following weekend. So
we broke them.
And they drew with Rhode Island this weekend. They were down to Rhode Island, if I recall right. One of you can look that up. So that was...
Yep, they drew.
They drew. So, yeah.
We devastated them, clearly.
Battery stuttering. So next weekend, October 12th, Charity Kit Day.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
I saw the kits when they got released, and I was like, this is dope. These look really cool. Hispanic Heritage Month ties into the charity sponsor or whatever. And then I come to see the match, and I wasn't there, unfortunately. But I'm watching it on ESPN or wherever, and I've seen they've done the shorts in the whole pattern for the serape or whatever, and I'm like, no, you got to stop at the shirt. If they'd gone with just like black shorts, it would have been 10 out of 10. But you can't. I mean, it looks like the shorts I used to wear in like 1991. You know, like them like jam shorts or whatever we used to call them. Unbelievable. Totally ruined it.
I will say though, the goalkeeper kit, which I know the club was not selling, was actually really, really cool.
The blue, and I almost bid on that on the online auction. I totally forgot that it was closing on whatever Wednesday that day was. But yeah, the goalkeeper kit was outstanding.
The City Graphics playing tricks on us because I thought Carlos Saldana was starting, but it actually turned out to be Nate Steinwasser again, who seems to has started every match since Monterey Bay away now. So maybe Jaime's qualms or one would have been recognized in terms of...
because now I guarantee you Carlos will start the last game. San Antonio.
So...
And then they're each going to play a half in the playoff game.
So Charity Kit Day happens against Indy 11. The crowd basically tells Indy to fuck off for 90-plus minutes. City with a lot of possession, couple good moments, but can't break Indy 11 down. 0-0 draw. Charleston felt like, to me, a point gained at the time. Indy felt like 2 lost, although that meant with the draws, Detroit City was playoff bound. But results around the Eastern Conference have been favorable to Detroit City. So we come to this past Saturday, which rolls out the 3-game form. I'm going to refer to this day as disrespect this opponent, because y'all know I wasn't going to go to this game because it's fucking Miami and they suck. And they have like horrifically on here, and we got some more folks. Is this who I think the long on the return? Please tell me. Yeah.
Who was that guy?
It was actually
security.
Perfect timing, Dennis, because we were talking about how the theme on Saturday was disrespect this opponent because it was fucking Miami, and you showed up, and it's perfect timing to add to the.
That should be the theme every week now.
Yeah. You got a garden going in your place. Love it, man. Everything, it's on there. Nice. But City roll of 3-0. Highlight of the match, Nate Steinwasser being the captain, coming out with his kids, and then a penalty and stoppage time, which you think Elvis Almo is going to take, but then he steps to the side. Nate Steinwasser.
I was just relieved that they didn't give it to Ben Morris because he's getting dangerously close to 10 goals. That would have owed. I think I've got another freaking Del Taco bet with you.
Did we
do
a bet?
like 45 tacos to him now.
Gara has so many Gara has so many fast food bets going that he can't keep track.
He's got a bookie, but not for like sports bets, but for like Del Taco wagers.
I'm trying to remember if we actually said yes on this bet or not. But either way, Nate Steinwasser steps up. Everybody in media gets close as they can without touching the pitch, like getting into the run of play. Everyone like grabs their phones, cameras, the moment at hand.
I've never seen so many videos for one Detroit City thing. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen that goal from like 27 angles.
and Nate fucking roofs it. And with that, 3-0 win, home playoff spot confirmed. Goal that was talked about as far back as December of 2023 for this season has been met. We will be back at Keyworth. I don't have a time that I know of, but I know it's Saturday, November 2nd. But 3 games that we've had.
I think 4 o'clock is what they've been thinking about.
Okay. I was thinking it sounded like originally they were hoping for night, but let's see. It's fun. Look at how far we've come. Last year seems like a lifetime away. But 3 games played, 5 points gained in that. The unbeaten run now is to 8 and 13 of the last 14. Fucking Tulsa. Then thoughts on the last 3, and then just this run of form that this team's been on since August coming into September.
The last 3 games.
Yeah, and then if you want to talk a little bit further past that, since I know it's been a while.
We've just weirdly been on this great run outside of our, we had our little middle section where everybody thought it was the end of the world, and we were also at the same time like, but wait, we have more goals and points than we had last season, even with this weird blip. But yeah, obviously the boys have stepped up, and since what's our last loss? Birmingham?
Tulsa.
Oh, was Tulsa after Birmingham?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good to look at the table, and see in the last 5 the form guide: win, draw, win. So like, you can't ask for more than that going into the end of the season. I guess we can ask them to put the final nail in the San Antonio coffin this weekend, and kind of put an exclamation point and make sure we claim 3rd and play whatever scrub ends up in 6th, and give ourselves our 7th. Yeah, 7th.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's.
We can still end up playing, I think, anyone from Indy down, I think, still.
Yeah. The last week will count.
Based on results. So
yeah.
We could also end up in 4th playing, the 5th team. But yeah, we'll play 5th or 6th, and it could be any one of Hartford, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Rhode Island. And honestly, I'd fancy our chances against really any of them.
Yeah.
So,
the fun fact is our last 2 losses have been Tulsa and Hartford. And but we've beaten New Mexico, we've beaten Louisville, we've been on this great run. We drew at we took points from Charleston in Charleston. First time somebody did that since June, I think. It's a beautiful, interesting run. Hartford and Tampa actually have their makeup game. That's tomorrow night. So that may give an idea going into the final weekend, which I think a city draw clinches 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
So, and we know San Antonio is officially eliminated from playoff competition after all that went down in the West last weekend. So, yeah.
Sorry, Harry.
Maxie's going to come home, and not sorry to Harry. He's at isn't he a Cowboys fan too? So I mean, he's just it's just like
he's been taking a lot of licks lately.
Yes, he has. But yeah, Alan, what about you, man? I know Jaime gave his thoughts on the shock of the full charity kit. What was your takeaway from that, as well as this run of matches lately?
Yeah, it was initially I saw the game shorts, and they were wearing their warm-up tops, and I thought, what the hell is going on here? Something's wrong here. I thought that maybe they were playing with their game shirts underneath their warm-up shirts.
They were really long shirts.
Really long, yeah. It's like, wow, we're taking that untucked thing way too far. But when I saw the whole kit, I actually liked it. I did like the shorts, and though I understand why some people are kind of meh, but it's a great kit, great sponsor, great charity sponsor, and what a great game to get, a result in. And so just like so many memorable things happened during that game. Of course, we're playing Miami, who had just let go of their coach. So we had an interim coach on the bench. And that kind of throws a wrench in things when you expect a certain lineup or a certain thing that you're going to see from the opponent. So that kind of added a little bit of spice to the proceedings, a little bit of a change up. So I wouldn't say I was like 100% confident, but I mean, obviously, given their performance this season, there was no way they were going to like all of a sudden become a decent football team, just on the basis of some changes at the last minute. But as things unfolded, got it done in spectacular fashion. All kinds of things that we didn't expect. So I mean, it was just a lot of excitement in that game from all of the things that were going on. Nate being with the captain's armband, which was a surprise, and the penalty at the end was really just. I'm still I'm still like I can't believe that happened. I've seen the footage of it quite a few times, like saying phone's definitely out for that. But it was such a huge achievement, especially when you factor in the goals that were set for the season, how the season's gone up and down. There was a certain point during the summer where it didn't even look like we were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, all that work, all that good work from the beginning of the season, like straight down the chute. But sometimes football doesn't work that way. And whatever they needed to do in the squad and on the staff to pull things together, it happened. And then we just had this incredible run. So it's not necessarily how you start, how you finish. And Detroit City really, really did well in the final segment of the season. Got one more game to go, and it's an important game because it will affect our placement. But just looking back at how this city's season went, there's I have a lack of adjectives to talk about how happy and proud I am of this team and what they were able to do this year.
Jaime, to get your take on it, I'll ask one question for you too on this. Seeing this run of results that City's been on, seeing them creep higher in everybody's power rankings, I think Morrissey's got him at number 2 in his.
And Liga's got him at number 2.
Yeah. Would you Louisville and Charleston are 1 and 2 tops in the East, but is it case to say coming into the playoffs next week and Detroit City is the most informed team in the Eastern Conference and arguably the league going into the playoffs?
I would say that arguably Morrissey's rankings are the worst rankings I've ever seen, and I would put zero stock into anything that he's written down on the internet. I think it's clear that we are the most informed team at the time, and we will easily beat San Antonio, and we will be cruising our way to a home playoff win and a second-round playoff win. And you'll see us in the championship game in the East. So suck on that, Morrissey. And that's all I have to say at the moment.
Let the record also show that unless it's New Mexico that comes out of the West, and we are the ones out of the East, Keyworth is hosting the final. Detroit City has a better record.
Is it based on like regular season points?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Detroit City has a better record than 7 of the 8 playoff teams right now in the Western Conference. Only New Mexico. Last year, man, it was last year, but it seems legitimately such a long time ago. Couple special moments happened post-match on Saturday. 2 new additions to the City Centurions: Reese Williams, Michael Bryant. Black Arrow announced. Probably not a surprise at all. Maxi Rodriguez with a great Black Arrow speech. Just on there too. So, gents, anything you want to throw in for the new Centurions and for the 2024 Black Arrow? Alan, why don't you lead off?
It's that core that we've had for a while now. We're going to see some more soon. I think it won't be long where those ranks will grow, and it seems like the club is getting some business done as quick as they can to lock up some of these guys. We've already seen Stevie's and Devin who got a new contract. There'll be more, I'm sure, shortly. I think there seems to be an intent to keep the core together. So, and the Centurions program is kind of a recognition of that we do have this core of guys that have been around for a while, and that we can build around. So it's always great to see that. Black Arrow, I think we discussed this last time. We in discussing it with other people as well, I think Maxi was just head and shoulders the leading candidate, given what he's done this season. Just looking at the stats and his involvement. So I was pleased to see it. That's the way I voted, and well deserved. So he put in a good body of work this season. He kind of struggled last season, and I think the football was a little challenging for him last year, and he's gotten past that, and so I think he got his just recognition.
I mean, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the Maxi Rodriguez Black Arrow campaign for a while. To Alan's point, yeah, he wasn't at his best last year, but obviously, like, most of the team wasn't really that great last year. But I mean, I think he's going on like 4 years of being, like, in my opinion, pretty clearly the best player on the team, and always right there at the top of the goal scoring charts, always there at the top of the assist rankings for the team. So he just really does it all, I think it's a long overdue award for our man Maxi.
Yep. Dan, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, you said you weren't surprised to see him win it. Like, I was sort of worried he might not win it because I saw so many names being thrown about on fucking Reddit and the Facebook owners group, like, about giving Nate a send off if he was going to be gone, and like Ben Morris. I think there was a bit of a recency bias with Ben, but like I definitely didn't see, though I was banging the drum for it, Maxi as a lockdown. I know there was a couple of discussions in Discord about it, and Maxi in those was not coming out on top in those discussions, even despite some of the loudest people being like, "What are you talking about?" Like, so like I think like Maxi, like what's there to say about the dude? He's been here 4 years. He probably could have got Black Arrow every single one of those years. Like
at least 3 of those 4 years.
It was always, well, even last year he was still the best player probably of a fucking bad bunch. I think the reason he wasn't as good last year was because he was trying to play 3 or 4 positions that were
for sure
kind of looked after this year, like with Lai moving forward a little bit.
Yeah, he was trying to fill a lot of gaps.
And James coming in, like Max
carry the team on his shoulders, and it just was too much.
Yeah. He was trying to play hero ball a lot last year because he felt like he had to. So, yeah, I think it was well-deserved. Could have come earlier. Needed to come this year. But, yeah, the Centurions, like, it's cool to have, 6 dudes who have played that much football in this league. I mean, we probably have a couple more Centurions city-wise because the team didn't start in 2022.
I did that research. I don't know if anyone remembers from a few months back.
Yeah, Jaime has a document going on that. So.
I was charged by our friend Reagan to figure out if Cyrus Sadie had played 100 matches, which he did. I can't remember. How many.
There's probably like a dozen through the years. Like there's probably another 5 or 6.
So it was. The ones that I found was Sadie and Sean Lawson had both for sure played over 100. Sebi Harris and Dave Edwardson were both like pretty close, I think within maybe 15-ish games. But like it's a little bit fuzzy because like I was having to go back and like look at old like match day programs that had been like circled by our good friend Michael Kitchen. And things like that for some of the early days, but yeah, for sure, Sean and
plus there was less games,
yeah.
So
way less.
It was freaking hard to build up an appearance number.
Arguably,
playing for 6 weeks and that's it.
Yeah,
it's arguably for Sebi and Dave to get so close, like almost a bigger achievement for them to get that close, playing 10 or 12 games a season.
Totally, yeah, totally.
But yeah, like Maxi's the third. He's third highest minutes behind Stevie and Devin, who Devin's played every fucking game this season. He's only been subbed on once and subbed off once. So Stevie's missed a couple, and Maxi's only missed 1 full game. So like that's like you see how important those 3 are to the team, as well as obviously Nate and Carlos, like whichever one of them comes in, because they're both, equally as good as each other.
Should start calling them Narlos.
Narlos are 1A and 1B. Like it doesn't really seem to matter which one of them is behind the 2 boys or the 3 boys. Once those 4 are in and around the team, and now sneakily Benjamin Morris. Once those 4 or 5 dudes are like in or around the team, like. We're hard to break down, but yeah, it's cool to have a core like that, and it's cool to keep most of them together. I don't know if we're going to talk about Nate as a separate line item, but to keep most of those players together, and like I would like to keep Elvis too. I think Elvis' season got kind of waylaid this year, but like to keep that core together, I think will be important, and we're working on it, and they're doing it, and throw James in there as well, I guess.
Yeah. For me, you made a good point, Dennis, about recency bias, because I think for me, Ben was my guy that I picked, and part of that really was that summer of Ben. Maxi was a close 2, but then listening to everybody, and even we had a good talk with this on Thursday.
You went back and you scratched out Ben Morris's name. And
he emailed Mackie and
requested a replacement ballot.
No, I made
went down to the city clerk's office.
I wrote a damn article in the summer. I already stuck my guns out for that. But point being, as I hear more, Detroit City moves based on how Maxi Rodriguez moves. And as you can see, September onward, and finding that stride again has to do with how he's played. So I think it's well earned, and yeah, I mean, I thought 21 for sure, 22 for sure. He's in there running, and I think he is. Like I said, the only qualm I have with Maxi Rodriguez is he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. Other than that, superb fucking dude.
You can't be perfect, man.
No one's perfect. No one's perfect. And for the City,
he'll enjoy a Lions Super Bowl as much as the next player on that team.
Yeah. City Centurions, two cool ass dudes, and Reese Williams and Michael Bryant. We know Devin Alma-Mensah and Lai Jop, I think, are the next ones in line. Maybe Ben right after that too. I think those are the next three that will be going. I think in there too. Ben probably Ben will hit it late next year. Devin and Lai will hit it first, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine Devin is not far away at all.
I think Devin and
Ben didn't play a lot before Dave, so he might be.
Ben's already Ben was in almost every game this year.
This year, yeah, but it's only.
And
I have it all pulled up because I'm so prepared.
And I think he played 30.
Ben has played in every single game this year.
Yeah,
but that's 33 games. I don't know why he played. The last couple of years.
It was close to.
I can check.
Yeah. He missed the first 3 last year.
I think he pretty much played after that.
Yeah.
That was part of the complaints, if I remember.
I don't know anyone who was complaining about that.
Last year seems last year was so
chitter chatter.
I was just thinking back about last year and how much of a miserable fuck I was.
All right, so unofficial data from Transfer Market has Devin Alma-Mensah at 86 games for Detroit City.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And Lai Jop?
Give me 1 second here.
That'd be USL though, right?
Yeah, is it league appearances or yeah, it's got to be league appearances, right?
I included everything, including U.S. Open Cup.
Okay. I think for Centurions, it's meant to be USL games because in all of their little framed
don't care
jerseys, they're displaying.
So
if you USL
I guess if you, I mean, he's still probably at about 80.
Yeah, he's at 80 in league play right now. He'll be at 81 on Saturday unless Danny sits him because he's listening to this podcast and wants to fuck with us.
Don't do it, Danny.
Danny, come on, man.
Elijah is now the City Centurions is 100 with City and not 100 in the USL Championship.
So,
because Lai had USL Championship experience prior to joining City with
Lai's at 91.
Oh, okay. So Lai's
including US Open Cup, but that doesn't count his games from 2017. So if you count all of his appearances in Detroit City, he's well over 100 already.
This is probably enthralling stuff for our dozen listeners.
Yeah, he's already, let alone ATL 2, he's already at over 100 plus in USL Championship, and he's at like 80.
Yeah, I think it's 100 games for City, but I think it's in the USL.
Yes, I think
our listeners are used to us abusing their patience, so.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do want to throw my phone across the room twice a week when I'm not on.
So we have all these fun things in there. I'm not worried about looking around the Eastern Conference so much anymore because we got home field done, a draw, and we're good to go. I know Indy plays Birmingham. Birmingham fucking sucks right now. Might not make the playoffs. So womp womp. Rowdies Hartford tomorrow, and then Rowdies are playing. Actually, no, Indy played Birmingham last weekend. It's Tampa Indy on Saturday. So that's what
Birmingham aren't making the playoffs.
That's what I said. I said Birmingham.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they
Birmingham.
might.
I said aren't. Womp womp.
Oh, okay.
Hartford Athletic might make the playoffs, but they need to win out and get some help.
They have 2 games left. Though. They only need to win 1 and have results go their way.
Yeah, they play Tampa tomorrow. Rhode Island. Let's see what And then North Carolina, it's a lot interesting here. It's just on it.
Rhode Island's playing Miami, but I don't have it down. I guess it doesn't matter. They're going to beat them anyways.
It'll be fucking embarrassing for Rhode Island if you don't beat Miami. We will laugh our asses off. But y'all should be embarrassed and turn in your playoff spot if you don't beat Miami.
Our collective asses will be on the floor after having been laughed off.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds host El Paso. We already talked about Tampa Indy. Birmingham Legion got to go to Oakland. Ouchie. Battery take on Loudoun. So Loudoun are currently, while they're in 11th place, they are 3 points back of the playoff spot. So ideally, anyone from Indy to Hartford potentially could be a Detroit City playoff.
I think Loudoun and Birmingham aren't like eliminated. They don't have the E's beside them.
They don't have the E's beside them, but the most that they can finish is 7th or 8th, I feel like. Because
I have it in front of me. They can both, if they win their games, finish on 45 points. And currently, Pittsburgh and North Carolina are on 45 points, so they might have tie breaks or something. But if they're eliminated, they get the E. They don't have the E.
I don't think they're eliminated, but...
Well, if they're not eliminated, they can still make the playoffs then.
Right. But I don't think...
It's that tight. It's that tight at the East.
Like, in the West, 9 through 12 all have the E's because they're all eliminated.
Yeah.
And San Antonio are 39 points. Phoenix are 42. So they're obviously taking into account that Phoenix have the tiebreak over San Antonio.
Yeah. I think for me, why I'm saying Birmingham's not making the playoffs is that run of form that they've had, and then to go into Oakland, they're probably in the worst form out of all those teams in the Eastern Conference right now. Boston.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't expect them to make it, but anyone from 7th to 11th could like leapfrog each other still.
Yeah, and what Charleston Battery side shows up hosting Loudoun on Saturday. So, final weekend of the USL regular season, USL Championship regular season. Say that 5 times fast. 9:30 Eastern. Is this when this fucking kickoff is on Saturday?
Oh yeah.
Jeez. San Antonio.
Right. Stay tuned for a late night throw-in featuring Dennis and Red.
Well, I'm an hour forward, so.
Oh yeah.
Only 8:30 for me.
What concoction are you having me required to make a YouTube link for? So stay tuned, folks. But all right, here's my thing. San Antonio eliminated for playoffs. They have nothing to play for. Maxi Rodriguez gets to come home with a whole lot of people to pack the stands at Toyota Field. How much are Detroit City going to win by? Dennis?
3-0.
Who are your goal scorers?
I guess Benjamin will get a couple to win some bet or other. And then...
How dare you?
And then we'll get a penalty in the last couple minutes, and they'll send Carlos up to complete the double keeper same season.
Although Carlos has scored a winning penalty already this year.
It's true.
In Texas.
One of our biggest games ever.
I wonder if there's ever been a season for a club where both keepers have scored a penalty. I know penalty shootouts don't really count, but I did see someone ask this on Twitter today of Marcy, and I was like, what are you talking about, Carlos? You think he's going to score a penalty? Which is what prompted me to say he'll score a penalty this season. But he already had scored a penalty, you're right.
Yeah, a game winner, too. All right, so you're going 3-0 over Harry's boys.
3-1. I'll say 3-1. All right, I'll give them a go.
All right. Jaime, what about you, bud? Are you doing the traditional, tried, tested, true?
I think you already know. Detroit City 4, San Antonio 0.
Wow.
Goal scorers?
Goal scorers. So, low-key, Laurent Koscielny has been on fire.
Yep.
I'm saying 2 for the Ivorian and 2 for Maxi in his homecoming. Mark it down.
Alan, what about you?
Bonding.
0-0.
No.
I mean, it just everything points to it being a 0-0 draw.
I picked in the other venture. I picked 3-0 win over Indy, which was a 0-0. A 2-0 win over Miami, which was a 3-0 win, but rescored, so I got that right. San Antonio. San Antonio's not scoring. They're heartbroken. Their fans are probably going to be angry at them. It might be ugly for them in multiple ways. Maxi Rodriguez gets at least his 10th goal. You know what? Maxi Rodriguez gets a brace in the hometown against the team that his hometown club that jilted him. Does Ben Morris get to 10 goals? No, unfortunately not. Ben Morris with 1, Connor Rutz with 1, San Antonio 0, Detroit City 4.
I thought Connor might be in the doghouse after that red card, but he slipped right back into the lineup, man.
He had a great game on Saturday.
He was good.
So, yeah, and then obviously that'll wrap the bow on the regular season and get ready for Detroit City home playoffs. November. Let's fucking go. All right, y'all. We got anything else we want to do for closing thoughts then?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the NGS Legacy Award or Nate retiring or
trunk or treat next week.
Reese on the play of the team of the week.
I can look that up when we're talking about this other stuff. But yeah, let's, I guess.
Garrett's obviously got somewhere to be. He's trying to wrap this up in like 35 minutes.
Yeah, he's probably got another fucking podcast to record.
Not tonight. I recorded. I checked yesterday. Tomorrow's an off day. Make City Makes Sense Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Reese being the NES Legacy Award and saving us from having to rename it the Michael Bryant Award. Even though Mikey did throw out a last-minute attempt at a win of the award with his Humane Society, I want to say nonsense, but that's mean. His very good endeavor.
The touching gesture.
But it just was very curious timing. Like the day we announced that the Legacy Award voting was open, Mikey suddenly has a cause this year.
That involves like puppies and kittens.
Yeah, right. It just wasn't enough to get him there in the end. But yeah, I thought Reese was pretty deserving of that award this year. I don't really know I'll put him over the top. I'm going to say it was his coaching. Like, he had a good weekend there with the goal and then winning the award and being the Centurion. And then I guess his team he coaches won something too. So maybe that's what won it for him. Or, you know, the mask, he looked like Zorro for half the year. So that leaves a lasting memory for people. Did we think Reese was a worthy winner? I mean, how can you say no, I guess, but
I think he also runs a lot of the after school clinics. So I think he's often doing a lot of stuff for, like, you know, the communities, the youth communities in that too. So, you know, it's somebody that he goes about it. It's like, you know, when you see Michael Bryant, Michael Bryant's such a character in a way, and personification and like up front. The way Reese is doing it, he's doing it his own way, which is a cool way, but a different way. So I think if that might be a reason why it throws, but I think it's deserved when you look at what the crest means to him and how he's extending that meaning to more than just on the field performance.
Yeah, great example.
Jaime, what about you?
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, he's really involved. I think with the kid, you know, like some of those summer clinics, I think maybe they have to do some of them or whatever, but he seems to be at a lot of them. I think he really does enjoy getting involved with the kids and coaching and all that. So yeah, very happy for him.
Nate Steinwasser?
So yeah, it seems like Nate kind of confirmed with his goal and his bittersweet celebration, and to a couple people in the line and after the game, that this is probably going to be him done. I guess he's had some stuff this year, and it's finally time to hang up the boots. Well, hang up the boots from the professional game. I don't think we're not going to see Nate playing in at the field house and whatever fucking team Sebi Harris plays for now, and he'll probably still be popping up here and there, but it sounds like has finished up with the day to day, down to the field house every day and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thoughts on that?
City legend. Definition of man that, grew up 10, 15 minutes from where I'm residing. And to see him go to school in this college in the state, in Detroit, travel all around the story, do this all with a full-time gig, a demanding full-time gig, what it is, and prove a lot of people wrong to become literally one of the best in this league, in multiple leagues. Testament to the man, testament to the character of the man, and this may be the last we're seeing him on the field, but he's going to crush it in anything else he does.
Alan?
Yeah. It seemed like everything that happened on Saturday kind of was pointing that direction. He had a lot of his family there after the game. It was pretty emotional for them. I think this is probably it for him. It's been really a pleasure watching the development of his career from when he came in as a backup goalkeeper and carving out his space and legitimately becoming one of the best goalkeepers in USL. What a journey. I mean, it's like a storybook. Local guy came up through the amateur team into the pro ranks. Solid guy on a team that was really focused on good defense, and there's just like, and his personal story, as as Garrett was mentioning. It's really the kind of story you want to see everywhere. Really, that's the glory of the game, where anybody with talent can, make it to the pros. So we actually got to see that here, and that's really, what more can you say? I really do hope he has time to continue to play, whether as a semi-pro or one of the, adult competitive teams, because I think he certainly still has a lot to give. But I think his family made a lot of sacrifices for him to continue to play at this level, and he's mindful of that. And thus, it's time to let it go. So he will be missed. I don't think he'll be a stranger. And I really do hope he keeps a relationship with the club, whether it's through coaching or as a club ambassador or what have you. He's a guy that means a lot to us, means a lot to the club, and would like to continue that relationship going on into the future.
I mean,
I just think what strikes me about Nate is how hard he's worked over the years. He came in like Alan was saying, he was kind of a backup. Like, he got tossed into that U.S. Open Cup game in Louisville, 2016, and did great, but he never really was a full-on starter. And I don't know if people remember, he had a really rough start to the 2017 season. And then like Fernando Pena came in and kind of like took over the number one. He just was never like in those NPSL days, never like a locked on starter really. But he just kept working. I think he went to like Sweden or something for a little while and was playing out there. And then
part of his professional journey.
Yeah, and then I remember him coming back and like seeing him play like indoor with like Javi Bautista's team, but as a field player, just because he knew that he needed to improve his feet, right? Like so he wasn't even playing goal; he was just playing as a field player to try and get better with his feet. And so yeah, it's just a crazy like it's a very unusual story, and it's down to how hard he's worked over the years to try and keep improving, and even at like into his 20s, like sometimes you kind of think, oh, this is what I am, this is where my story ends or whatever, but he just kept working at it. And I remember the very last game of Nisa, that away match at Stars, him and Cyrus got subbed off, and there was a lot like in the like 70th minute or something like that, and there was a lot of like hugs going around, and I thought, oh, it's like, oh, maybe that's the end for him, like knowing that we were going to go to USL Championship. You think like, well, maybe he just can't swing the job and the soccer still, and yeah, he really you could tell that he in the end, like he could see that he wasn't going to be denied that opportunity. So yeah, what a great story, what a great player over the years, and yeah, I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I think Nate goes down as, and maybe this is a question for another day, because this could probably have us talking for another 20 minutes, but I think he goes down on the like Mount Rushmore of City players, and like I have two more that go on there. I struggle on the fourth, but maybe that's a end of season when we see how high we get here. But yeah, I think there was
let's definitely discuss that, because that's an interesting topic, and there might be some different ideas on that. But yeah, Nate definitely in the short list.
Oh no, Nate's on there for me. Like Nate's one of the three I already know are on there. But yeah, I guess Nate, I have two things about Nate. One is that funny you brought up the indoor Jaime, because I do remember that season I joined a team and it was like all a ragtag bunch. I've told this before, but a ragtag bunch of dudes that we had all text or email the club to be like, hey, we don't have a team, can we still play, expecting that we get thrown on a team that's already made, and they threw all of us together. So it was a nightmare. And I think I realized what it was like, men's competitive, right? Which I just thought you meant, people like give a shit about it, but obviously turned up, and there was like Nate and Stevie and Coach Javi and George, and like I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing here? But the night we played Nate's team, when he was actually in goal, I scored a hat trick on him,
Wow.
Even though one of them he was gone running for it, but like we lost like 14-4 or something. But it's my claim to fame with Nate. And then also my other one is when we did go USL, and there was a clamor in the Discord about, well, who are we going to get, like, in goal? Like, what players are we going to bring in? And me and Jackie had to put up a staunch defense of Nate, and I think maybe Stevie too. We were basically saying, like, they play as long as they want to play, like, or unless, until they're found out, like, until it's obvious the level escapes them. No, why, like, Nate's made every step up with us that he needs to make, like, from amateur all the way. He went away a little bit, he came back. Like, there would be no reason that Nate is not our starting goalkeeper next season. And I guess, we're in year 3 here, and like he's proved me and Jackie and probably some others like very correct. And then every year we've talked about if Nate comes back, and he finally kind of got us, because he signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah, right.
Now he's going to be gone halfway through, and I mean, no one's going to begrudge him that. And it just kind of also throws into focus what Danny was thinking bringing in Carlos this year, I guess.
Yeah.
Because maybe Danny knew that the writing was on the wall and he needed to bring in. I was just looking at stats there real quick because we were going to be talking about this. And like Nate still has started double the games that Danny has this year. It's like 22 and 11, even though it seems like maybe Carlos has played more because maybe more recently. But yeah, Nate started like double the games.
Yeah.
And yeah, their records aren't too different, like as in terms of goals conceded. Nate's just a little over one a game, and Danny's just a little under one a game. But yeah, I think we're in good hands. Or Carlos, not Danny. I think we're in good hands with Carlos going forward.
That seems so, yeah.
Wish Nate
For
all
sure.
the best in his future endeavors, and yeah, hope to see him around. Hope to see him up on a stand maybe and popping some smoke.
Mm-hmm. Shout out also, I know James Murphy, who was serving his yellow card absence, was definitely imbibing in the smoke in the stands. So
he popped some yellow smoke, I think.
Yeah. So well done to James. You have an opportunity to go into the playoffs with the yellow card board being at one match since your last yellow card.
Yeah, shout out to Kate. She can put that up. I guess you can count the game he didn't play as the one game, right? Yeah.
Or does it reset? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good questions for the parameters and all that.
This is a random fact that will be of minimal interest to most people, but as I just pulled up the USL Championship stats page, does anyone know who's completed the most passes in the league this year?
In the whole league?
In the whole league.
Ooh. The James Murphy?
Detroit City legend.
Oh, it's
Tommy McCabe.
Tommy McCabe, yeah. I saw this earlier and I was like, I have to bring this up at some point. Good job, man.
Fucking Tommy McCabe.
Wow. I totally forgot. Like I saw that like half an hour ago and I was like, I have to bring this up sometime.
It just like pops out at you when you're on that page.
Tommy McCabe
I know that
here so James Murphy could run.
But yeah, before we completely wind down, good looking out, Garrett. The Trunk or Treat event that we NGS take part in every year is coming up on the 30th of October from 5 to 6:30 in Hamtramck at Zusman Park. So if you want to get involved in that, you don't have to be NGS, obviously, but just look at the NGS Twitter or Instagram, whatever, and you can find the information. And there is also a Amazon wish list going. If you just want to like send candy or whatever, you can do that too, and it will get there where it needs to be. But they are looking for volunteers for the Trunk or Treat. So if you have a car and some spare time next Wednesday, not tomorrow, next Wednesday, try and help out with that. It's one of our bigger events going into the fall. And then stay tuned because there'll be more during the off season. And for those just listening, that's in quotes because allegedly the women's indoor season is kicking off next month sometime. So
it is still up in the air as this weekend. The division that was shown on the MASL website changed to a Great Lakes North and South, but as I was reverenced in conversation I had, don't take what's on the MSL website in stone. So we're going to be, it's like
I've heard the holdup is there's supposed to be a league meeting to sort out the schedule, but Dom Cicluna refused to wear shoes, so he was barred from the meeting. But that meant they couldn't finish the schedule.
Chaos.
It was at a venue that
chairs thrown
on shoes and shirts for service.
Exactly.
Yet the one time he interviewed with us, he wore a fucking suit.
What a legend.
Yeah. Shout out to them. But yeah, you guys got anything else before Alan?
Owners meeting next week. So
also
same day as the Trunk or Treat. So Alex or Sean or Mackie, whichever one of you are listening, maybe try and switch that to Tuesday or Thursday.
Come on, Mackie, sort it out.
We have I mean, I don't know if it stands, but some of the players were committed to coming to the trunk or treat, which I assume requires like a front office handler or something. I don't know.
I imagine that the owners meeting is gonna be full of reports that don't say anything, so it could probably get canceled without any real impact to or no our information about what's going on about things. So might as well.
They'll probably push it because of the playoff in it.
Yeah, well that makes sense too. So yeah, well we'll see. So that's all I got.
So yeah, y'all, we've rolled. It's been a fun few 3 weeks. We're not done yet. We've only just begun. Playoffs clinched. Home playoffs clinched. One more game in the regular season for the men. Trunk or treat next week. As Dennis mentioned, all the resources for those that are available to lay their part into. We'll be back next week. Got to talk ahead of the playoff match. We'll know who we're playing. We'll have times, everything like that. Get ready, folks. The show is about to continue on. So for Dennis, Allen, Jaime, and Garrett here, thank y'all for checking out this episode of the 451 Tunnel Talk. Detroit.themajors.sports, channel 451 for all your 451 content. Twitter, 451DET, and old-fashioned bucks, 451DET at gmail.com. We might read a email, unless it's from Red. So
that sounded like the end of a pharmaceutical commercial right there.
I'm getting good at this stuff. So win, lose, or draw, city overall. We go on hooking onward. San Antonio, fuck off. We'll see you Saturday.
Ohio.
Peace.
Free J-Mo.
See you. Free J-Mo.
City till I die, say hi to the bad guy. Pretty gritty in the key, you see our flag fly, chin check, cash tech, we came to sweep the leg. With all disrespect, LaRouche will bruise your head. 2012, the scene pop, we came to clean clocks. Your team is dream drop, we gave some mean knocks. Stomping on the count, yeah, we chomping on the bit. Many came and went, but they ain't stopping none of it. Community built, community owned. Roasting foes coast to coast, leave your hope postponed. Spirit of Detroit, lemons the lemonade. Yemen and Bangladesh make a stronger braid. City in the city, within the city, with deep witty with the banter, cause I can't concrete. Now come and get it if you with it, we committed to go. Detroit versus everybody, you already know. Locked and loaded, always ready to bust. Pop and smoke, leave these jokers in dust. City of black, excellence is a must. To leave these crusty little clowns in a ring of rust. From southwest to Brightmoor, 5 points to Denby. Ain't no friendly, we leave our enemies empty.